What is up, folks? Stephen here from Moving to Canada, and unfortunately, I don't have great news to share. But do make sure you watch until the end of this video to know how you can prepare yourself for what might be coming. So, if you have been following Canadian news at all over the past week or two, you may have noticed a particular word being thrown about. Yes, the Government of Canada updated on its website that IRCC, along with other public service workers across a number of departments, may be on legal strike this month. They continue to state that a strike could affect certain services, including those provided by IRCC. Now, what does this mean for those of us, like myself, that are currently applying for express entry and have yet to accept their invitation to apply? Well, in the event of an IRCC strike, most services would be impacted. Some fully and others partially disrupted. According to the Government of Canada's webpage, a strike could mean delays with processing applications, in-person appointments or events, including citizenship ceremonies, contacting IRCC via email, phone or social media, consular, citizenship and passport services, and passport services in Canada. There will be a handful of services that will remain available, however. So in the event of a strike, you would still be able to apply online, mail applications to IRCC, use your online accounts and access some emergency services, along with settlement services for partner organisations, healthcare through the interim federal health programme and visa application centres outside of Canada, as those particular services are offered by non-governmental organisations. Now, the real question I'm sure we all want to know is, what will all this mean for any of us out there who are waiting to get pulled from the pools or to hear back about submitted applications? Well, a labour disruption of this size would definitely cause delays for clients. So once again, we may be looking at future draw freezes for express entry and extended processing times for applicants seeking immigration to Canada, which means you need to make sure you know what options are available to you. So in anticipation, we sat down with one of Moving to Canada's trusted immigration partners, Cassandra Fultz of Doherty Fultz Immigration. So Cassandra, what might these strikes mean for those who are looking to immigrate to Canada?
Well, unfortunately, it could mean bad news. We could be looking at further delays on applications that were already delayed by COVID-19 backlogs, as well as delays on new applications that are being submitted now. So we could also be looking at delays on communication from IRCC, right? Getting responses to your web forms, to your emails. I would definitely expect delays on interviews. Anybody who has to go through an interview for any of their applications, that's probably going to take a lot longer to get. And that was already significantly impacted by COVID. And then visa issuance too. So just submitting your passport to get the visa put inside so you can get on the plane and then get to Canada. Basically, every single step of the process could be delayed as the IRCC labor force is reduced.
Right, so really not what we want to be hearing at this part of the year with Canada's immigration targets. Cassandra, is there anything that applicants can do themselves that might be able to lessen delays with their application?
This is a really good question. Yes, my strong advice to everyone is get those BOWP applications in, get your PGWP extension applications in, any other work permit applications that you might be eligible for, get it in ASAP, because basically nobody knows how long this might take. It's always a bad idea to sort of wait and see. Sometimes we see people who they expect to become a permanent resident imminently and like don't go for the BOWP or don't renew their work permit or extend their work permit. And this is not a good idea, especially at this time. It's never a good idea, but today it's an even worse idea. So get those work permit applications in ASAP so that you can continue working on implied status. And then, of course, get your profile in ASAP. And once you receive your ITA, get your PR application in as soon as you possibly can, because the sooner you get it in, the further up in the queue you are.
So Cassandra, a lot of acronyms being used there. Can you talk through a few of them, what they might mean for someone who hasn't heard them? Like the BOWP might be something that a lot of our viewers might not have come across before.
My apologies. Yes. That's how you know you've been in Canada too long, when you just use all those acronyms willy-nilly, because God, they love it. So BOWP, this is the Bridging Open Work Permit application. And then basically the Bridging Open Work Permit, it's like it sounds, it's a bridge between your old ability to work and your ability to work as a permanent resident. So once you have your PR application in, you can submit your Bridging Open Work Permit application so that you can keep working. So BOWP, Bridging Open Work Permit. And then PGWP, that's the post-graduation work permit. So the post-graduation work permit, this is a work permit that people can apply for once they have completed an eligible program of study in Canada as an international student. And generally, up until not very long ago, you could never, ever, ever, ever extend that post-graduation work permit. However, due to COVID and the extreme negative impacts that COVID had on the labor market and new graduates being able to find jobs, let alone eligible jobs to apply for PR, IRCC has enacted a couple of extensions for the post-graduation work permit holders, and there's currently one that's available to people right now.
Right. Okay. So in short, getting your extension in so you can maintain your status is kind of essential if we are seeing these strikes. Yeah, which is very, very, very useful to know, because I don't think you know this, but I have my IEC permit is up in August 1st this year. So you usually want to be getting them in around 2 months before, is it? 6 weeks, 2 months before your permit is up?
Well, you know what? There's never a bad time. There's never a bad time. But basically, you have up until the day that your original work permit expires to submit your work permit extension so that you can go on to implied status. I do not recommend waiting till the last day. Please, please, please do not wait until the last day, because inevitably when you do that, there's going to be a problem with the portal. You can't access your application. And then, frankly, you're done. You're out of luck because you didn't get it in on time. So don't wait until the last day. But you can get it in, 60 days out, 30 days out. That's brilliant. It's in. You don't have to worry about it. But if you're waiting for something, or you needed a document, or you had your passport renewed, or whatever the case may be, you can get that application in even up until the day your original work permit expires.
Amazing. But just to clarify, you will have had to have received your ITA, your invitation to apply, if you're going through Express Entry like myself, and you'll have to have accepted that ITA before you can actually apply for the bridging permit, the BOWP.
Spot on. Exactly right. So you can't apply for the ITA when you're just in the pool. You must have, or I apologize, you can't apply for the Bridging Open Work Permit when you're just in the Express Entry pool. You have to wait until not only have you received an ITA, but you've also submitted the permanent residence application in response to the ITA. So you need that PR application submission confirmation, the letter that you get from IRCC to submit the BOWP application for it to be approved, right? So if you did submit a BOWP application while you were in the pool or before you got an ITA, if you submit it, it goes in, but it's going to get refused, right? It's going to get refused because you absolutely must have your proof that you've applied for permanent residence.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is accept my ITA and get my application in fully ASAP.
ASAP, exactly.
Okay. So Cassandra, do you have any idea how long this strike may actually last for, how it may actually affect Canada's immigration goals for the remainder of 2023, because they are quite high and only getting higher every year thereafter?
Absolutely. So it's a really good question. It does involve a bit of speculation. The strike could begin on Friday, April 14th, if it does happen at all. Maybe it doesn't, which would be great. That would really be awesome. But if there is a strike, there's no way to know how long it might take to resolve the labor dispute. So generally, the parties are aware of the negative impact that a labor disruption has on people's lives, including their own lives. And frequently that will bring both sides to an agreement faster. Just recently, we had a strike in Ontario with the public education workers. Basically, there was a labor dispute there, and it ended up being resolved in not very long at all. So best case scenario doesn't happen at all. If it does happen, it's resolved quickly. Now, one thing you may see in the news is should a strike drag on for too long, then the government can invoke the notwithstanding clause from the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, which would force striking workers back to work by rendering the strike illegal or a wildcat strike. Hopefully it does not come to that. It was a big political issue in Ontario when that happened. And so hopefully it does not come to that.
Fingers crossed that this is all speculative and a warning shot that we can all learn from going forward.
Absolutely.
Cassandra, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. And we will, as always, be putting all your information in the description of this video should anyone who be watching want to get in touch with you and your team.
Absolutely. I'd be happy to help if you need your BOWP, if you need your PGWP extension, or whatever it is, permanent residence application. I'm happy to help.
Now, to be clear, IRCC did not say exactly how processing times will be impacted, just that should a strike happen, they would be impacted. So we're all a little in the dark when it comes to what a potential strike may look like and how it might affect us. What we do know though is that if you want to keep up with all the latest express entry, immigration and potential strike news, then you should sign up for your free Moving to Canada account, which you can do so by clicking the link in the description of this video. That's all from me, until next time.